So, if you've been in the UK for over 6 months with no tech job, it's not the market, it's actually your strategy. Now, give me 5 minutes and I would show you how to land tech job in the UK in just 90 days, even if you're an immigrant with no so-called UK work experience. Now, let's be very honest, right? Right now, you're probably sending 100+ applications and you're getting ghosted. And you're probably blaming the ATS. That's not the real problem. The real problem is you're invisible, you're unproven, and you're also unstrategic with how you're going about this. Now, let's fix this, right? Before we get started, my name is Omomi Victoria Samson. I'm the co-founder and CTBO at Amdari, and I am also a career pivot coach. The last 8 months, I've been able to help over 1,000 professionals in the UK, tech professionals, to move from being job seekers to job-ready professionals. I have personally reviewed more than 1,000 CVs, conducted over 300 candidate interviews, and I know exactly what recruiters want. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how exactly to move from being a job seeker to being a job-ready professional with all of the strategies that I have seen play out and how it's also going to work for you. Step 1, positioning and proof. Now, you need to understand something. You keep calling yourself a job seeker. You need to stop doing that. You need to have a mindset shift. Go from seeing yourself as a job seeker to seeing yourself as a solution provider. This is what employers sponsor. A solution provider, people who prove they've solved problems in the past and how they can also bring that to that company. So in the next 30 days, your only job is going to be to build proof. Like I said, this is the first step. Now you need to pick 2 to 3 portfolio projects in data, cybersecurity, project management, or business analysis. Now this depends on the career path that applies to you. You need to make sure that this project mirror UK real business problems, as this is how you get to show proof of exposure, proof of experience, and proof of expertise. And the better way to do this is to also do it in a team and not in isolation. Now, the perfect option for you, because there are a lot of options, trust me, you can do internship, you can work on projects, you can do all of that. But the best option is always internship. It gives you a team to work with. Now, to achieve this, you need to take a look at Amdari, right? It's a recommendation. I would add the link to the description box for you to go through. If you're looking to work on a project, a real business problem in data analytics, data science, data engineering, cybersecurity, project management, or business analysis, you should check out Amdari. I'm going to add the link to the description box below so you can click on it and speak to a tech expert from there. Now, let's talk about the projects you can work on as a data analyst. Look for a project that analyzes UK retail sales data and show how a store could increase revenue by 12% through product placement changes. Projects like this can be seen on Amdari. Let's take this example for cybersecurity professionals. You can work on a project that simulates a phishing attack and show how implementing MFA could cut risk by 80%. Remember what they say about metrics being very, very important on your CV. A free lab for this is also Amdari. You can check it out. There is also one called Try Hack Me. You can also check it out. There is also another one which is for project managers or business analysts. You can work on projects that says something around create a project plan for UK fintech product launch with milestones, risks, and budget in pounds. Very important. If you want to see exactly how to relate or translate metrics to the UK terms and language, there is another video on that. Just make sure you subscribe to Amdari and click on the video. I would attach it to this somewhere. You need to also highlight tools that you also used in the process. Again, a perfect resource for this is Amdari. The link is in the description box, so make sure you click on that to speak to an expert from there. Importantly, doing it in teams makes it even perfect because this mirrors UK delivery culture. A virtual internship with Amdari will help you do this in real-time setting. So, this is a tip that would make this even solid. You need to deliver this project end to end. Don't just show charts. One major mistake that I've seen job seekers make is always, just showing the technicalities and everything. How exactly does this translate to actual business problem? If this is not showing impact, showing metrics in a way that would make sense to recruiters, they might just pass on, like move your CV to the trash. The wrong way that most employees or job seekers rather have been doing this is showing off a dashboard with sales trend. That doesn't say anything. That doesn't speak to me in any way. So the right way to do this is to say, or to show a dashboard that identifies a 500k pounds lost in annual revenue due to late delivery. Solution cut costs by 18%. So that's the perfect way to say this. Show metrics, show proof, and show value. Now, the next thing you need to do is to publish on LinkedIn weekly. It can be once in a week, right? And when you're not publishing, make sure you're engaging. Now, why this is important is because recruiters talk LinkedIn before they hire you. In fact, there is something called the hidden job market. Before they hire you, they most likely have, roles that they know is open, but they don't post it or publish it. So when they are searching, they need to make sure that they find you. You need to make yourself visible. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Make yourself visible, and there are strategies on that. Again, we have a video on that as well. Just make sure you subscribe, and I'll be adding the link to that video somewhere in the description. First things first, share one insight. Something like UK energy bills rose 20% last year. Here's how a predictive model could save suppliers £1.2 million in churn reduction. That's a perfect project. Any recruiter who sees that knows you're exposed to the UK job market or the UK work culture and everything. Then platforms like Amdari, like I said, is also perfect for data sets in case you're looking for data sets. The reason why this first point, right, that's the first step, is important is because proof beats certificates every single time. So if you don't have this, you're dead in the water, okay? Or maybe I'm too harsh with how I said that, but you just need proof. That's the only way to get recruiters to see you and to take you seriously. Now, let's get to step 2, okay? CV plus LinkedIn optimization both goes hand in hand, right? Now, recruiters don't read CV. They scan your CV and they only have 6 seconds. Imagine yourself as the recruiter, or think as the recruiter for 1 second. You have probably 100 pools of CVs to go through. Who has the time to take 1 minute to try and figure out what you're trying to say? So that's why it's important for you to pass the right message the right way. Optimizing your LinkedIn the right way is important. Cut to the chase, right? No one cares if you're hardworking or detail-oriented. Show how you're that instead. I always say something. Tell me you're a problem solver without saying you're a problem solver. That's the perfect way, right? And there are strategies to that. And trust me, we have videos on that. And you can also check the description box to get the link to that video. Now, the wrong way to say this is always saying, I am hardworking, I'm detail-oriented. The best way and the right way to say this is automated reporting system that saved 15 hours per week, cutting costs by £12,000 annually. Why is this important? Recruiters care about some things when it comes to metrics: how you're saving them money, how you're making them money, and how you're saving them time, right? So if you can communicate that fast, then you have, the free pass. So translate your experience into UK language, pounds, percentages, and outcomes. Add pounds to your CV at every time, even in your communication, percentages as well as outcome. Now, on LinkedIn, your headline isn't your job title, it's your pitch. There is a different spot for your job title, and that is your experience. The wrong way that people would typically do this is they will just leave it as business analyst or just put something that doesn't really make much sense. The best and the right way to do this is to say business analyst helping UK retailers save £100,000 and data. You also have somewhere like data-driven decisions, right? This grabs attention. You can also add tools that you're proficient in and you've used in solving problems in the past. Perfect. Your headline, once again, is your pitch. Step 3. Now, I hope you've not forgotten the first step, right? The second step and the third step. Now, the third step is the strategy and targeting. You need to stop spraying and praying. Every random application is a waste of your time. I always say something. You've invested time in learning. You've invested time in acquiring knowledge, acquiring certificates or gathering certificates. Why don't you go the extra mile and make things perfect? Apply strategically. Do not just apply randomly and then pray, right? Spraying and praying. So you need to apply to at least 5 jobs in a day. You can also identify about 20 companies that are sponsoring in the UK and ensure that you have a list somewhere. Now, you can use platforms like the UK government's official list of licensed sponsored via the UK website. I'm going to add that somewhere in the description box so you can click and you get redirected there. Check out these platforms, or rather the licensed sponsors in the UK. Build a tracker. You can use Google Sheet for that, right? So each column needs to have something like company, recruiter, job link, status, like applied, ghosted, interview scheduled, or hired. Just have, that drop down. And you have tools. You can use Google Sheet or you use Notion for that. Now, follow their recruiters on LinkedIn. Like I said, you need to do this strategically. You're not just doing it and just hoping that somehow miraculously you get the yes, right? Follow their recruiters on LinkedIn and engage with their posts. You get seen by so doing. The next thing is for you to also send DMs. It's another strategy you can add. Do not just say, hello, sir, give me a job. Well, you might not say it that way, but you get the message, right? The perfect way to say this is, hi, I'm Sarah. I built a case study showing how fintechs can reduce downtime by 15%. Here's a link to my portfolio if you would like to check it out. My portfolio also contains other projects I have worked on in XYZ industry on XYZ problem, achieving XYZ solution. Now, why is this important? Because you're already pitching yourself the right way and not just leaving it at that. When you're reaching out, make sure that the project you're pitching in your message has something to do with their industry. It makes it easily relatable for them. The fourth step is the interview and sponsorship mark. I believe this is my last step. The sponsorship and the interview mark. Now, when interview comes, remember, they don't care about your certificates. They care how you think and how you've done things in the past. Soft skills. And you cannot get a soft skill if you've not done anything in the space. If you've not been exposed to an environment that allows you to interact with people. Because tell me how you become a problem solver if you're not in an actual company where you're solving an actual problem. Tell me how you say you have a good communication skill if you don't have teammates that you work with. You don't also have stakeholders that you report to, right? You can't develop such soft skill, or even time management, right? Or taking initiative. Things like that can be developed when you work in a team. That's why I said the best way for you to gain experience and have proof is through internship. Now, you need to practice storytelling with the STAR approach: situation, task, and action, and result. Now, a video on that is also created, and you can definitely cut that video. Now, an example is situation: retail sales declining by 15%. The task here is reverse trend. Action: built demand forecast in Python. And then result: recovered 1.2 million in 6 months. Always link answers back to business impacts. It's the best way to actually get the attention of any recruiter. Now, say this instead, or rather, instead of saying, I built a model in Python, that's too basic, right? Doesn't say much. Say, I built a model in Python that reduced forecast error from 30% to 8%, which prevented 200k pounds in stockouts. And you also need to know your sponsorship math, right? Minimum salary threshold matter, so you need to understand where you fall. An example is for data analysts, 26k is the baseline. For cybersecurity, it's 34k, right? In pounds. So if the role doesn't hit salary threshold, take a course in data analytics, data science, data engineering, business analysis, project management, or cybersecurity. Not limited to this, by the way. There are careers that are in demand and they meet the threshold for sponsorship in the UK. So ensure you gain experience before applying to these fields. Okay, very important. And the best place to gain experience is Amdari. So for you to know how to get started, speak to an expert from Amdari. Like I said, the link is attached to the description box. So just have fun. So here's a recap or a summary of everything I've been saying, and I hope you jotted things down. But in case you did not do that, I am so generous and I would, go over it briefly. The first step, build proof. Second step, fix your CV and LinkedIn. Third step, apply to jobs strategically, right? And then pitch your value. Crush your interview as well, and do the sponsorship math very importantly. So you would see yourself stop being just another immigrant that is struggling and begging for a job, or you become that professional that is an obvious value and an obvious hire. So if you're serious about making this happen, speak to an expert at Amdari by using the link in the description box to know how to get started. I'll see you in my next video. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Ciao.